Very interested to see how our local members voted on this. Can we go through those as well?
Yeah. Locally, we have David Batten Hinkler. He abstained from the hate speech and was a no in the weapons. Lou O'Brien for the Wide Bay was no for hate speech and no for weapons. David Littleproud in Maranoa abstained in hate speech and was no for weapons. And Colin Boyce for Flynn was no for hate speech and no for weapons.
So I understand that sometimes federal members abstain for what's called a pairing when someone else is from the other side is sick or can't be there for work commitments. If they're a yes vote and the other person's a no vote, one of them abstains for that purpose. This wasn't the case for that because they actually voted on all the other amendments. They were there. I'm just interested on your thoughts, David. Do you have a view on members abstaining rather than saying yes or no?
Yeah, well, leaving aside the circumstance where you may have a conflict of interest, and obviously abstention's the appropriate course there. With the other, it's a little bit confusing, isn't it? If you're going to vote on an amendment, and then when you lose that amendment, the substantive bill comes to the vote. You would think that you would know whether you were in favour of it or against it on balance.
Yeah, if you've been voting on amendments, yeah.
Yes, that's right. I mean, I don't know what David Batt's motivation was for abstaining. Littleproud's abstention was probably because he was really bound by cabinet but didn't want to vote yes. Yeah. And that would explain him. I'm not quite sure what was Batt's concern.
Yeah.
So, Carly, from your point of view, should we expect our elected representatives to vote rather than abstain?
I think on the most part, yes. Yes. I think that abstaining can be convenient if you don't want to toe the party line or, you just want to sit on the fence.
Yeah. And so in Parliament, does abstain count as a no vote like it does in Council?
No.
It's the same as just not being there. It's just a no. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting thing. I mean, I really doubt that Winston Churchill or Paul Keating ever casted their ballot for abstain. And someone would look at that and say, you're getting paid a full-time wage to turn your mind to this. You have a staff. We fly you down to Canberra to make a decision on behalf of the 125,000 people. You can vote yes or no. But also, there are reasons why you would abstain. I think a lot of it is, as David sort of said, is the inter-coalition issues. But
the coalition issues shouldn't be the constituents' issues because you're abstaining.
Yeah. I reject the fact that if you have voted the amendments, that you should abstain from the vote. I think if you have made a decision that you can take a vote, there's no conflict, there's no issue, there's no pairing issue, you should vote. And I, for the life of me, can't see any reason other than a political reason not to vote on that. I would like my representatives to at least know where they stand. I'd rather them stand one way or the other, even if they disagree with me, than not stand at all.
And you certainly know with Lou and Colin.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I guess if you're not comfortable that it's good legislation, then the appropriate thing is no, which doesn't mean that you can't try to get something similar put forward at a later date.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, this is like you could just say, no, this is exactly the type of legislation that should have a 6-month inquiry into it. And that's why I'm voting no.
Yeah, and I would respect that.